Hey, this is Heather from the Renaissance English History Podcast, and this is your Tudor Minute for July 31st. Today in 1549, the rebellion in Norfolk that we call Ketts Rebellion was reaching a breaking point. Initially, the rebellion started over land enclosures, which was the process of closing off previously communally owned land and appropriating it to wealthy landowners, leaving poor people with nowhere to graze their animals. The rebellion actually started on the 8th of July when some rebels tore down fences, but it quickly gave rise to a host of issues, including religion. Interestingly, this rebellion wasn't to preserve the old Catholic ways, as so many were, like the Pilgrimage of Grace. This rebellion was about England not going far enough in the direction of Protestantism and the local clergy not being competent in the Protestant liturgy. The rebels took Norwich, which is where our story today is. The king sent the Marquess of Northampton with 1,500 men to stop the rebellion, and as the army approached, he was told that the rebels had retreated to higher ground overlooking the city. Kett and the rebel leaders decided to allow the government army to defend the city while they laid siege to it. Today, on the 31st of July, the royal army improved the defenses and started to patrol the streets of Norwich. At midnight, there were alarms, and it seemed that the rebels were using the darkness and their own knowledge of the tiny streets, because they were locals. They were launching hit-and-run attacks on the royal troops. The next day, the government would be fooled again when they were told that the rebels wanted to meet and surrender, but when they arrived at the meeting, there were no rebels and no surrender, and instead the rebels were actually crossing the river back into the marketplace at Norwich. There was more fighting, the government retreated, and the government didn't stop until they reached Cambridge. The rebellion would be ended a few weeks later when a much larger army descended upon Norwich and the leaders were hung in chains. But for today, it seems as if the rebellion touched a nerve and was giving the government a rough time. That's your Tudor Minute. Remember, you can dive deeper into life in 16th century England through the Renaissance English History Podcast at englandcast.com.